everybody? Welcome to What's Up, Bolts. I'm Fernando Ramirez. This will be the final episode of What's Up, Bolts for a little bit, unless any big news happens. We're here to break down the press conference between Jim Harbaugh and Joe Hortiz, their final thoughts on the year. We'll get into a little bit of the Justin Herbert narrative also. Obviously, that's been all over. We'll get a little bit into that. And then we might have a special guest. We're trying to see if we're going to get a special guest. So make sure you guys are tuned in, warmed up. We can't just go out with it just being us two. We're thinking about getting a special guest on. So we'll see if that special guest is able to come on. But obviously it is me. It is Dan and Daygo. Thank you guys so much for being here. It is Wednesday, January 15th. And like I said, it'll probably be the last pod for a bit until we come back from Radio Row. We do have some cool interviews lined up for Radio Row, so make sure you guys are tuned in for that. But first, let's go with the intro.
Compas on the beat. Let's get it. Let's go.
Yeah. So we're Compas.
Yeah, we are.
There you go.
There you go. Okay, all right. We got proof right there.
Some guy that seems like he's asleep. Need you to wake up, Gilbert. There's a lot of energy.
Come on, Gilbert. Let's go.
Come on. Dan and Daygo is at Moe's.
I'll show you. I'll show you. I got it right.
Okay, that's it. You guys, I am done with mine, but that's
There you go.
couldn't get better than a 2026 6th-round pick swap for a 7th-rounder. So
Freaking love you, Chad.
Hey, dude. Cool, man.
Compas on the beat, man. Derwin James signing off, man. Watch Compas on the beat, man.
How's everybody doing on this Wednesday? Thank you so much for joining us. I am Fernando Ramirez, here to talk and wrap up the Chargers 2024 to 2025 season. A season that was very interesting, to say the least. A lot of highs, some lows, obviously. So we'll get into all that. But first, I didn't come alone. I have somebody else here with me. He is coming off about a 30-minute sparring session with Gilberto Manzano last night on the Four Compas. So let us get him on right now.
Thank you for bringing me back on, Frau, so I can relive this shit again. I appreciate it. As if I haven't suffered enough, or we haven't suffered enough. How are you doing? Besides,
I am great. The question is, how are you doing?
I'm adjusting. I mean, I'm moving forward. I'm on next season, Frau. I'm on to anybody but the Chiefs season for me. Okay, that's all I'm looking forward to now.
Season, by the way.
That's all I'm looking forward to now. Let's hope Real Madrid figures it out, because I don't want to be disappointed over there also. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I'm dreading it, because you know what happens at the end of football, Frau? Baseball starts, and my God, then I just have no sports left. I'll see what's it called? I'll watch wrestling more. That's usually my wrestling peak time.
Dan, it seems like you and Gilberto kind of found some common ground, don't you think? Yesterday on the pod.
I guess that scumbag's just always trying to piss me off when I get in there. Then we at least found common. The only part we found common ground is that Herbert did not play great. But, part of it again, and I'm not even trying to get back into this, because goddamn, it does it piss me off. Part of it is also like look at the team that was assembled. Like, the thing that I didn't get in, or I didn't get to talk about on Tuesday, because obviously, my time's limited, and Gilberto dominates the time, because that's what he likes to do. He likes to talk. But everybody forgets, like, they pointed Joe Burrow going to a Super Bowl, and he hasn't. It's like Joe Burrow had 3 of the best weapons in the game. You know what I mean? No offensive line. So that's how he had success, right? Then on top of that, moving forward, Mahomes, he's either had weapons and bad offensive lines, or he has a good offensive line now and kind of no weapons. So it's like you have to have a balance. In my opinion, you have to have a balance. But Herbert had none this year. No balance, no weapons, no offensive line. He has 2 offensive linemen, but I mean, the tackle, I would rather protect inside out. That's just me. Shortest route to the quarterback's inside. I don't know what to say. I was just appalled. I'll tell you one thing. It's like I said on the pod on Tuesday. They have a year to figure this out. They pull something like this again, then, it's just going to get louder and it's not going to be good. So, but I think he's going to be fine. I'm not even worried about it. He's a son of Odin. In my opinion, I think the Jacksonville debacle was worse, and he's bounced back from that. So I'm not even worried. I don't know what to say.
I like what Elliot said here. Dan and Daygo's a whole ass vibe. He represents all of us frustrated fans who are eager for a ring. Jim Harbaugh will get us there.
Exactly. Like, that's what I'm talking about. Like, the thing that makes me less nervous, I guess, is that Jim Harbaugh is not going to put up with mediocrity. A guy's not doing his job, he's gonna bench him or he's gonna cut him. And I think there's going to be a lot of scissors flying around this offseason because a lot of these guys, who knows if they're coming back. And that's the thing people have to understand. Like, he doesn't put up with mediocrity. So he's going to either get the best of the guys he already has, or he's going to go get the best. So that's what he has to do this offseason, really.
No, speaking of that, that is what Joe Hortiz said today at the practice. But after practice, sorry.
I love what Brett says. Yeah, exactly, Brett. Yeah, this will be the worst offense Herbert will have to play with. 100%. Like, Elliot says this interior offensive line would be my number one priority. Watching Sawyer get. Oh yeah, see, and that's what we were talking about yesterday. That stooge, that scumbag, Hilberto was talking about T. Higgins and all this other stuff. I'm like, buddy, you need guys who are going to block inside first. Like, I keep going back to it. You have to, the way to build a team successfully for the long term is the way the Lions have done it. Kind of distributed, and it's all inside out. Inside out. Dominate the line of scrimmage, you will win the game. Period. I'm a believer in that. Dominate the line of scrimmage, and you'll win that game 100%.
No, I completely agree. Here is what Joe Hortiz had to say about next year, or what they're going to do this offseason.
I don't think you look at it from just what specifically you want to improve everything. You really do. If you focus in one area, you negate others. So I think from a personnel perspective, from an organizational perspective, you have to improve everything. I think that's the goal you set out for yourself every year as an organization, and you attack it, and you move forward. And that's adding more competition. That's improving the way we do things around the building. That's improving, how I scout, how our staff scouts, how coaches, how we develop. I think you always chase improvement. And so I don't think you can really put it into one area.
I mean, that's right.
Funny part is that Joe Hortiz is from the Baltimore Ravens. And if we know anything about the Baltimore Ravens, is that once they became the Baltimore Ravens, they never sat on their hands.
Yeah.
They never did. They were always moving. They were always shifting. They were always going to they were always doing a lot to try and get better to show Young West. They were always trying to get better. They were always trying to improve their line, and I actually believe that they know exactly what they need to fix. They've seen it. They know their holes. Like I said yesterday, before the season, they knew it until somebody said that my take was ass or whatever he wanted to say. But I'm still salty about that because he's an idiot. But going back to that, Jim and Joe knew exactly what they were doing this season. They knew what they were doing. They knew what kind of offense they put out there with Justin Herbert. And I think it was like I told you before the season, they grabbed sticks, they grabbed like lollipop sticks or whatever. They grabbed super glue, they grabbed all kinds of crap and tape.
Yeah.
They massed together this team and they threw it out there and it won 11 games.
Yeah.
They did it with 4 rookies really putting their stamp on this season and showing that they stepped up more than some of the veteran players on their team. At the beginning of the season, you got everybody thought that the 3 receivers were going to be DJ Chark, It was going to be DJ Chark. It was going to be Joshua Palmer. It was going to be Ladd McConkey, and it ended up being DJ Chark was not a part of the team because of injury. There was Josh Palmer was in there, but it was Ladd McConkey, the one that exceeded expectations. You saw the struggles from the offensive line. And you saw the struggles from the interior. You saw the way that Rashawn and both Rashawn and Joe Alt played this year. You saw on defense. I'm sure a lot of people, and I asked Morgan Fox this on Sunday. I'm like, were you guys taken aback by what they about the way the defense played? He's like, no, we weren't, because we understood. We were in the meeting rooms, we were in all that, and Jesse Minter said, if we run exactly the way we want to run this defense is going to be special, and it was. They did a great job with the defense. I know it had their struggles against Baltimore. It struggled against Cincinnati at times, but for the most part, they struggled in the first 3 drives of the Broncos game, but they would always settle down and they would play their game. So it's just year one, and that's what you try and explain to people. It's just year one. That is a great building block. You have Tarheeb Still, Cam Hart, Ladd McConkey, Joe Alt. The Chargers assistant general manager Chad Alexander was requested to be interviewed for the Raiders vacant GM job.
Wow.
So Chad Alexander's a good he's him and Joe Hortiz do a lot of good work together. But just going back at it, it's year one. They've got some good building blocks, and that's what Vic the producer was saying yesterday. They're gonna have to hit on their draft picks, and that's 100% true. They're gonna have to hit on their draft picks. They hit on 4. Junior Colston, I'm still gonna wait on, because I know he struggled a lot this year, but it was just the first year. I'm sure next year he'll be much improved, especially with Navarro Bowman there. And that was according to Ian Rappaport. But yeah, that's just my 2 cents on that. That they again, it was a great first year for the Chargers. I don't think most experts didn't have them winning 11 games or any of that.
Just ask your co-host, dude.
Who did he have going?
I think the Raiders. Oh my God. But and that's what I'm talking about, right? I love what Young West says here. He's like, I'm not upset that we lost. I'm just upset by the effort. If everything was left out on the field by the Chargers, we win. Unfortunately, offense didn't show up. I couldn't agree more. Like I said, the biggest problem, this is what I was telling Gilberto on Tuesday. The biggest problem was, besides the separation, you had guys, the only one who could make a contested catch was Ladd McConkey. That's a huge problem. So, they have to fix these things. Someone said up here, hold on, let me find it real quick. I like what Felix says here too. Interior offensive line needs reshaping if possible. 100%. You cannot go into another year with these guys starting, dude, because I don't know. I don't think it's going to be any better. You need to continue to improve. Oh, I thought this was hilarious. Look what Tom said. Saw Harbaugh and Ortiz presser. They thought the O-line played well. I'm going to jump in the bathtub with my toaster if they don't fix our interior.
Honestly, what?
No. It's a joke. He's got to say that. He's got
no. I know. They have to say that and everything. So we'll see what happens.
Like I'm saying, they're not going to put up with it. You already saw, Pipkins clearly was not cutting it at tackle. So they experimented there. Scott Matlock clearly wasn't cutting it at D tackle, so they experimented with him there at fullback and things like that. They're going to innovate. They're going to try and change things up. They're not going to put up with mediocrity. That's at least the hope that I have.
Look at how much work they put in. Like, they brought in guys all season long. Every single week there was a player brought in.
That's right.
Somebody signed to the practice squad.
Elijah Molden. Yeah.
They didn't sit on
They
their
didn't
hands.
settle.
They didn't do anything.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So, and
'Cause that's
Tony Jefferson just he did tweet out on Sunday that he does want to come back. That he loves the room. I talked to Tarheeb Still and Cam Hart, and they both said we want Ung back. Like he would be a great addition to continue on this team. And I think that's 1000% right. Tony's a really good tackling safety, and I feel like the Chargers could use that, especially when they go to their Derwin stays more. Oh, Young West, we are going to play that at the end of the show. We're going to say, does he stay or
cut his ass?
So we'll get that. We'll talk about that. Elliot. Dan, I know.
Can you believe that guy was there for 11 years, Elliot, and then gets hired by a division rival? Unbelievable, dude.
Dan, I know you've been waiting for this. Here we go. This is Jim Harbaugh talking about the narrative on Justin Herbert. You haven't heard. This is the first time Dan's hearing this.
Yeah, this is gonna be good.
After the loss, there's been a lot of criticism directed at Justin Herbert for his performance. So how much of that do you think is fair? How much of it do you think isn't?
Completely unfair. I wouldn't spend 2 more seconds thinking about what happened in that game. It didn't go good, and that's on me. That's my responsibility. That's my accountability. I really felt going into that tournament that that we were as good as the best teams in the playoffs. Not just as good as any team, but as good as the best teams in the playoffs. And that day, I mean, we were not the better team that day. That's my responsibility. We did not play complementary football well enough. My responsibility. And we weren't our best when our best was needed. Again, my responsibility.
It seems like there's this.
But the Justin Herbert, I agree with Big Cat, from when he said, if you're the way he said it, I'm probably paraphrasing this, but Big Cat said, if you're selling Justin Herbert stock, then he's buying. I completely concur with that statement.
You said after the game that you felt like he played like he always does. After watching the tape back, you still feel that way?
Yeah, he again. My responsibility. We did not put him in. We did him a disservice and didn't put him in the positions to be successful enough. But he played like a beast. I mean, there's nobody. And that was your question. How do I think he played? Yeah, after watching the tape, I second that. Double down on that statement. There's nobody in this entire organization who gives more blood, sweat, and tears and contributes more, produces more for the entire organization than Justin Herbert.
Yeah, if I could follow on that, like I hear the narrative and all that, but there's a lot of great quarterbacks in this league that may not have had the ideal start to their playoff career. Peyton Manning was 0-3. His first 5 years, Lamar Jackson's, it was 0-2. So if we're going to set a narrative on Justin off of 2 playoff games, that's absurd. What I watched this guy do, he's phenomenal. He's phenomenal. Competitor, leader, playmaker. We'll roll with him. They're going to roll me out of here before they roll him out of here. I can promise you that. He's special, and special things are ahead for him. So book it.
Could the narrative be that he's an excellent quarterback? He obviously played at a super high level this year, led you guys to the playoffs, and just had a bad day, or a day that's not up to his usual standard?
That could be your narrative. There could be other narratives that Joe's referring to that he's hearing. I mean, it's I'm not gonna take the time to even buy into any of that. Like I said, Big Cat's narrative. I agree with that one. That's the narrative that I agree with.
Do you guys have conversations?
That's hilarious. But what was the last question though? I couldn't hear that. You're on mute.
Pop told him, asked him, can we concur that he basically said, like, Justin Herbert's a great quarterback, and he's done a lot of great things this year, but he just had a really bad game. And so that's why Jim was like, that's your narrative, that's his narrative. So he was like, whatever, those are your narratives, whatever. But that's
Big Cat.
Big Cat. Yeah, Big Cat. You know who that is, right? From
yeah,
Barstool.
that's it. Barstool. Yeah, I know who that is. He has
yeah.
terrible soccer takes, but going back to what he said at the beginning, and I think you can notice it through his thick ass glasses. This is eating at him because he's gonna have 8 months to sit on this shitter that they put on the field. That's what tells me right there. Some heads are gonna roll. They're gonna change up this roster. It's not gonna be the same roster going into next year. There's no way. He's not going to go into another competition competing with guys who just aren't getting it done, period. No ifs, ands, or buts. They're not getting it done in the pass pro, in the run game. So I think big changes are coming for the team. I expect a lot of these guys to be rotated out or at least on the sideline where, no offense to anybody, where they probably most likely belong. But my favorite part, it's my responsibility. I thought we were better prepared. Clearly we weren't, and it's on me. I love that right there. And I know, that scumbag co-host of yours will say it's coach speak. I know people say it's coach speak, but you feel the authenticity where he's pissed at himself more than any of his players. And I totally agree with that. I have felt that before as a coach personally, and it's a shitty feeling. So the only thing you can think about is how you're going to correct your errors. And I think the other part of it is that, taking that accountability, because it's like the part where he says his responsibility in preparing everyone, part of it might be with the way they constructed the roster. Maybe they wouldn't think it was as bad. And in the playoffs, you have less margin for error, and it showed. They got mollywopped because they didn't have the same players level up to par. So, I think the way they construct this roster next year is going to be totally different. I expect them to go get some good guys, hopefully hit on some draft picks again. But he knows that he has to improve drastically from this year to next year because the defense is already rolling. They just need to get some pieces and make some decisions. But offensively, you cannot have a repeat season like this because you're going to waste Justin Herbert's prime basically at this point. You got to get him some guys who can catch the ball. What does it say?
Young West says, do you think Herbert can learn how to throw softer, or is arm literally just a cannon? No, he'll learn. I mean, that's something that I'm sure Jim
it just takes time. It just takes time.
I'm sure. The
other thing I was going to say, sometimes when the rocket comes out is because he's in a panic and he's got to get it out. It just kind of goes, you know what I mean? He doesn't have time to kind of step into and launch and things like that. I mean, I'm not a quarterback guy, but that would be my opinion right there.
Like the one to Ladd, the pick six, he shouldn't have thrown that. But if he throws it softly, I think the other corner would have picked him off too. Like either way, like that's kind of getting intercepted at that point. But and then Young West asks Garrett Wilson. I think Garrett Wilson would be an interesting addition. The only problem is you'd have him under control for 2 years. The only thing is what you would have to trade for him. If it's a first rounder, the Chargers aren't doing that because I know that they see some other guys in this draft that by the way, I did find it interesting because Colin Cowherd was the one that put it out that Jim was looking at either Joe Alt or Brian Thomas Jr. for that 5th overall pick. If it would have been Brian Thomas Jr., everybody would have lost their shit and been like, why not Malik Neighbors? That means that he knew something. He knows something about Malik, that's why he didn't want to draft him.
Yeah.
He didn't feel comfortable drafting him because if it really was Brian Thomas Jr., that's definitely interesting. But Young West, I think if Garrett Wilson comes in with the mentality of he hasn't really played nice with others. Like it seemed like he got really frustrated that Devontae came in. I'm sure it's the frustration of it hasn't been a good team. He's caught a lot of passes and gotten a lot of yards, but he hasn't won. And I'm sure that's a lot of the frustration, but he would have to come in here and really do something. Brett, I don't think you want Jamison Williams.
There he is.
As I say that, we have a special guest.
Hit his theme music.
Dan is very excited about this. Let's see if our special guest knows what theme song this is.
One, two, you hear the clock ticking. Tick, tock, you about to stop.
MVP. This is our boy, Chris Rim. Chris from ESPN. Chris, how are you doing today?
Good, man. Yeah, I remember him, MVP.
Oh, yeah.
He had a little dance. I just couldn't remember what it was, though.
What is it? Vontavious Vontel Porter?
Montavious Porter.
Yeah, Montel.
You could tell you got a few wrestling heads over here.
There was no artwork in the back. Now we got artwork. There we go.
Oh, yeah, we got some artwork now, man. Moving on up in the world.
Good.
Chris, how are you doing today? How's everything going?
Man. Good, man. I just left the facility, actually.
How did that go?
It was good. Yeah, it was good. They were just, talking, saying a bunch of, not much.
I saw a bit of the excitement in the clip for now pulled up right now about the Herbert narrative. So
yes,
that was pretty interesting for me.
Yeah. What'd you think of it?
Oh, I see, but this is why, like, I love Jim Harbaugh, dude. You know what I mean? Like, I just personally, this is me, not saying that he would say this, but I would have just added a kiss my ass at the end or something like that. Like, because like I took so much shit from that scumbag over there, national reporter, all of a sudden. Yesterday, he was trying to tell me all this, horse manure and buying into his people, spreading that Hilberto, spreading that national narrative about well, have you not met him?
Yeah,
no, he's Mike Gilbert.
Oh, okay, that's why
I didn't know who you were talking about.
my bad. Yeah, no, whenever it's negative, it's always him. Just FYI. But anyway, and I was telling you, I was like, how can you but this is my opinion. I think it's all, and I'm not trying to rehash it. I know I'm already going too long now with this, but it's so stupid to me because in my opinion, like, he had Walmart greeters at receiver except Vlad, and Vaughn's bad boys blocking for him half the time. And even like that, he put up solid numbers and only threw 3 interceptions. The problem was in the playoffs, there's no room for error. And that's the problem. They just couldn't get started. And you saw that. And part of it was also is that
let's start off with what you said. Herbert had a bad game.
Oh, he had a bad game. Yeah, 100% he had a bad game. I don't deny that. Yeah. I don't deny that. But to say, like, he's not good, oh, he's garbage, oh, let's move on. Like, no, dude, everybody can kiss my ass. He's the son of Odin. I'm still going to defend the guy. Like, now next year, if there's weapons, if there's things, like, that's going to be a problem. You can't have, these problems. But to say he's not good, these aren't football guys, Chris. They don't know. They don't know.
Yeah, that is crazy to say. That is crazy to say. I mean, I think with Justin, he just had a bad game, man. That is what it is. Stop there. I think people going too far saying the other stuff. I mean, it's just a terrible time for him to have a bad game. Yes. Yeah. But he's only, what is he, 26?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Something like that. He's good to go. Yeah. The only thing I do need, okay, is one of the Sydneys express mail to his house, dude. That way we can get the Super Bowl going. That's all we're missing. Get one of them or both of them. I don't know. I don't judge. Get someone in there. Get us rolling with the most views, and we'll head to the Super Bowl right after, dude.
Yeah, that might be what he needs. That might be it.
You know what I'm saying? Who knows?
A lot of pent up. Were you? I mean, you weren't surprised that he kind of went back and forth. I mean, that's just Jim. Jim's always going to defend his guys, no matter if you're blaming the best player on the team or the worst player on the team. But that's just Jim. Did you find anything else interesting about the press conference? I mean, I listened to some stuff, and obviously they're going to want Khalil back. Jim spoke about how he's going to have some procedures done in the offseason. By the way, he thanked you, Chris, for asking him about that. So that was nice of you. But anything else stand out to you?
Not really. I mean, one thing I'll say about Jim and Joe, they're old school guys, like old school. They don't give any advantage. They don't gain anything from giving us any information. So they're almost never going to do that. So that's pretty much how these press conferences go. They say a bunch of nothing really, which is, it's whatever, you know what I mean? Like, I'm used to, it's fine. Like, it's like, I understand
45 minutes.
Yeah. Like, I don't get frustrated by it or anything, but I'm still going to ask the questions and stuff. But, they said they're interested in, having a, extension with Rashawn, and said they want everybody back, knowing that everyone's not going to be back. So
Fingers crossed. Look at that.
So yeah, I think it was good, man. It was about what I expected. It was like just a love fest with Jim and Joe.
I actually did notice that. I was a little surprised on. I thought Sunday guy spoke. I was very pleased. I the first 45 to an hour.
Yeah, nothing.
Nobody had crossed. The only one there was Chris Rumpf cleaning out his locker, but
literally
nobody else really coming through. And then really it was just bang, bang, bang. Chris was on 13% battery, and he's like, "Hey, if anybody comes back here, let me know." And I'm like, "All right." As soon as he walks out the door, Khalil's like, "Yeah, I'm ready to talk." I'm like, "Khalil's coming back." He's like, "Damn."
Insane.
You got to get the portable charger that just sticks to the back of your phone, my guy.
I know, I do. I seriously do.
But what's your overall assessment of the 2024-2025 season?
I mean, I think they were better than I expected. I think it's a step in the right direction for sure. I mean, they won 5 games last year. Even with Justin, they were, I think, 5-8, or 5-7.5, I guess you could say, because he left the Broncos game early. So it's not like they were really a good team with Justin last year, and Keenan, and Mike was obviously out, and Bradley was obviously out. But I would say they had a better group, and they weren't a better team last year. I think they took a step in the right direction. I will say that this year they were never really I never felt like they were going to beat the Texans, or I never felt like they were better than the Texans. I mean, they should have won that game on that day because the team played good enough. If the team that showed up for 11 wins showed the Justin, if the Justin that showed up shows up in that game, they win the game. But I never thought this is a shoe-in or this is a bye week.
No.
The Chargers pretty much had beaten everybody they were supposed to beat, except for, I guess, maybe the Broncos in the week 16 game. That was their biggest win of the season in my mind. That was you beat a real team that was really rolling, that was on it. You could say the Bengals too, but I don't think they were really rolling at that point. But I guess one of the reasons why they weren't rolling because the Chargers stopped them. But Buccaneers, beat the mess out of them. They lose the Chiefs, lose the Steelers. So it was kind of another one of those games of this is a game maybe that you should win, and then they lost it. So I think next year for the Chargers, they need to win those. And it's crazy because they still had 11 wins. But they're gonna have to win those. They play Philly next year. Don't they play Dallas next year? They play
Dallas.
Washington. They play. I'm just naming.
They play some good teams. Yeah,
they play
Steelers
next year. Yeah, they play Steelers.
I think they play. Yeah, my bad.
Yeah, I'm just saying. You can't. It's not gonna. I think there's a harder path for them next year to get to 11 wins, with the way that they were playing this year. And the team is gonna be better. They have cap space and all that. So I think this year was encouraging for sure. Encouraging. I think they did what they were supposed to do. I think they did more than they were supposed to do. I did not expect them to win 11. 11 games is pretty nuts for this team. So I think they overachieved. And once they get some more guys in there, who knows how good they'll be. Jim Harbaugh, this is the first time he's made the playoffs as an NFL coach and not made it to the NFC. I meant the conference championship. So
yep.
I think he'll be good.
At home, they have a rematch with the Texans. They have the Colts, the Eagles, the Commanders, the Steelers, the Vikings. Away, they go to Jaguars, Tennessee, Dallas, New York, and Miami. Damn, Chris, you're gonna have fun on the road, except for Jacksonville.
Literally, and I think one of those. I don't know. I got a feeling that one of those games. The Jaguars are in London, right?
Oh yeah, that's true.
Yeah, get a little Europe trip.
That's gonna be sick. That's gonna be sick.
Can you imagine if this guy gets to go to London, Tennessee, Dallas, New York, and Miami?
That'd be pretty sick, dude.
Might not make it to any press boxes, man.
Nice little frequent miles right there. Getting some miles in there.
That's what it's all about, huh, Chris?
Literally, seriously. That's what it's all about.
Yeah, exactly. Do you have anything, Dan?
Yeah, I was going to ask, what do you think is the biggest concern, and how do you think they should attack it? Should they go? Is there any free agents on your radar you think they should key in on? Do you think they should maybe focus a little more on the draft? That way they don't get into any situations where they dish out money and then the guy ends up not being as good? Or what are you thinking? How should they approach this?
I mean, I think they should, get Rashawn extended for sure. And then after that, I think they should free up some more cap space for them. And then I think after that, it's really, I think the priority probably should be, after that, I think the priority should probably be like getting Puna back.
Yeah.
And then after Puna, I think, I think Elijah's important too. But then I think really after that, it's like I think something has to happen interior, offensive line wise, like whether that be right guard or center. Zion's going to be back. But center, right guard, I'd probably say would be priority. And then tight end and then receiver. And you could flip tight end and receiver. I'd probably, whatever you like. So I'd probably say that's what I would do. And I think in terms of how they do it, I don't mean to say it like this, but I think like I trust from what we've seen, I trust Joe Hortiz to make the right moves, right? Like, you look at their draft, you look at their free agency. All signs, and maybe they just got lucky first, but all signs point to like they know what they're doing. You get Tier Tart, Puna, Elijah, Cam, Christian, Ladd, Joe. Like you don't like. It's not normal. It's very not normal, like abnormal for you to have like 4 starters in a draft. Like that's not supposed to really happen. Or they might have 5 if Junior, it pans out. Like that's not supposed to really happen. Like, so I think however they do it is probably going to be the right way that they do it. But if it was me, that would be my priority. I think Khalil is somebody you want back too. But again,
I agree.
Again, it's like navigating that. What's the price point? But and I also think when you, as important as like getting, the talent in there is like having people who know what your standard is and like that people respect. And Khalil is probably the most respected guy in the locker room because of what he's done, who he is. Like when he speaks, he's not always speaking, but when he speaks, it matters. So that's what I would say.
Yeah. And the funny part is that I had asked the Dolphins beat reporter, I'm like, hey, what's the news on Tier Tart? He's like, look, he's getting cut. I think he got cut, right? He got cut halfway through training camp. That's not a good sign. He's like, he's talented. He just needs a coach who's going to kick his ass, and this guy isn't. Talking about Mike McDaniel. Well, he comes over here, and Tier Tart is a huge part of what they're doing. And I thought when they put Tier Tart and Puna in there at the same time, I thought they were even more lethal when they did kind of more of a jumbo package. So I think Tier should be a guy that they decide to bring back. Question mark is going to be JK. How much do you where's J? Because I was telling Dan on the post game pod is that I think JK is a guy you should bring back. The only thing is that obviously not at a ridiculous price because you just never know. But I thought JK had a great season, 4.6 yards per carry, 900 yards, 9 touchdowns. So if you could mix and match him with another running back, I think he'd be a great 1-2 punch with somebody else. But he should be a guy at the top of their list, don't you think, of them wanting to re-sign?
I think so. With backs, always is like you sometimes feel like you could find one, but the Chargers, as the Chargers history knows, you know what I mean. Sometimes,
I've been looking since LT.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. But I think they should bring JK. I think they should try to get JK back for sure. But they should also get another back.
Yeah.
Whether that be through the draft. Well, I guess they just drafted one, but if they draft somebody high, maybe. Other than that, they probably shouldn't draft one since they just drafted it back. But yeah, I think JK needs a guy alongside him. And Gus was okay. Like we never really got to see him get into a rhythm because it seemed like he was always hurt. Like he was on IR for 4 weeks. Then he had a little 4-week span where he wasn't, great. And then the Broncos game, he had that big run, and then we never saw him again. Yeah. So I think they need a new guy next to JK probably.
Yeah, that Gus was. I mean, Gus did as much as he could with what he had, but it just didn't materialize.
Yeah, and then sometimes they would abandon the run too. Like that's why I was confused about sometimes too. Like I thought they were brought in to be the 1-2 punch, and then they would kind of go away from it. And I'm like, all right.
I mean, look at the Texans game. JK got 1 carry in the second half, and I think Gus got like 4 or something.
But that's what happens in the games where they got their asses kicked. In some of those games, like they would abandon the run completely, and you're like, why are you abandoning the run? Like that's what's gotten you to this point, being able to and then you had your 1-2 punch there. I mean, I don't understand why you abandoned it, but I mean, I guess
the whole Greg Roman thing, like it was puzzling my mind the whole time. I was getting sick and damn tired of watching 3rd and short, and he brings in all this heavy personnel with guys who just can't do it. They can't do it. Like, my God, how many times do I have to watch this on my screen? You know what I'm saying? Like, then on top of that, on the interception where, obviously Herbert should not have thrown across his body all the way over there. There was 2 receivers in the same area. So it's like, so it's like, what's going on up top? I have the theory, putting on my tin hat, he does it just for men. He must put too much. He sniffs it in, takes in the fumes, and he can't eat. He's just wide-eyed. He doesn't know what's going on, dude. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Oh my God!
I told you, Chris. This is how.
If it's too much, let me know. I
know you're good.
I know you're a professional. You gotta look these people in the eye. I don't. So.
Nah, you're good, man.
Chris, any off-season plans you got going on?
Not yet. Probably, we'll go.
Oh, look at him!
I think it's looking like Dominican Republic.
Ooh, that's gonna be sick. The DR.
We're going back to the DR.
Yeah, I gotta go to Hawaii at some point since it's right here. But yeah, that's it, man. For now, I gotta rest, man. All this traveling.
For real, yeah.
I need to rest for a little bit, man.
Yeah,
for real.
I feel you on that. Combine, you are going to be going to?
Yeah. And I got to pop down to San Diego, too, to see y'all.
There you go. Come on down. Take you for some food.
Yeah.
The Combine should be interesting. I know, obviously, it's not your, like, you don't have to go over there for this, but, like, will you be popping over to Shedeur Sanders and some of that?
Just seeing
some
what
of that stuff?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, right now, I mean, last few minutes with you, we appreciate you jumping on. I know you have a limited time, but what do you think about him? What do you think ends up happening with him?
I think Shedeur is good, man. I think his floor is higher than Cam's floor. Cam's ceiling's probably higher, but Cam is a guy who's like, when I watch him, man, I'm like, it kind of reminds me a little bit of when I used to watch Anthony Richardson at Florida, and you say,
"Oh yeah,
I just saw him do the worst thing I've ever seen a player do on the football field." and then 5 minutes later, I'm like, "Oh, this is the greatest player I've ever seen." Shedeur is more like, you know what I'm saying? Like, why did you take that sack? Versus like, yo, this is the most boneheaded play I've ever seen. So I think because of Cam's upside, he'll probably go before Shedeur maybe, but. I don't think Shedeur falls past Vegas. I mean, I guess it depends who they draft. I mean, who they hire as GM and stuff. But I don't think he falls past 6. Right? Raiders pick 6, right?
Oh yeah.
So I think he'll pick, and I think Shedeur will be good, man, because I think people with Shedeur, one of the issues is like everything not football with him. Yeah, like usually that's where the discussion comes. It's like, oh, he's too cocky, his family does too much, and all that. I'm like. However you feel about that, I think if you watch Shedeur play football, he's a pretty good player.
I think they're fun.
Yeah, and I think one of the things with Shedeur too, compared to a lot of the top guys, is like usually when you're like when you're a first round quarterback, like you're playing behind a pretty good team, like you're playing behind a pretty good O-line. Shedeur has really good receivers, but his O-line is like terrible. Like you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like so he when he gets to the NFL, I think he's going to be a little bit prepared with navigating that situation, like because usually you're going into a situation with kind of like a makeshift offensive line.
Yeah.
So I feel like he'll be. I mean, he won't have the receiver. He had good receiver. But I think he'll be a little bit prepared to go into a situation where like I can navigate an O-line.
Chris, I have a way for him to get his receiver.
What?
Dallas Cowboys hire Deion Sanders.
Mhm.
You got Papa there. Papa comes in, picks up the phone and calls Tennessee and says, "Hey, you why do you guys want another rookie quarterback? You've drafted Will Levis, you've drafted some of
And
these
send
guys.
them Dak.
We'll give you guys Dak. Oh, we'll take an established Dak. All right, cool. Okay, first pick. Then they draft Shador. Second pick, Jerry's sitting there and he's like, you know what? He calls who has the second pick, whoever has it. I don't care. Calls them and says, "Hey,
Browns.
The Browns. There you go. Do you guys want CD Lamb? I mean, he's sitting right here. You guys want him? Yeah, we'll take CD Lamb. Okay, I want the second pick, Travis Hunter. Then in the 6th round,
He's seen draft day too many times, dude.
and then in the
Literally, he's
6th
cooking,
round,
he's cooking.
in the 6th round, you draft Shiloh, or 7th round, whatever.
Hey man, black
Amen.
nepotism. I'll
You
take
got,
it.
you got the whole squad back together now in
In
Dallas.
Dallas.
In a
Man,
Dallas.
that'll be unbelievable. That'll be
Oh
unbelievable.
my god,
You-
dude!
have you posted this to social media yet?
I actually did. You?
No,
No,
not
you-
yet. Not yet.
Okay.
Yeah, y'all have to.
That would
I'm
be-
gonna clip this out.
Dude,
I'm gonna clip
that's
this out.
gonna-
I'm gonna put it.
That's gonna get people. That's gonna get people pissed off.
Like my thing
So-
is, this was my conspiracy behind that. I was like, I don't even think he has to trade. If he just tells these fools, hey, he's not going anywhere else, are these teams really gonna draft him knowing they're not gonna play for him? You know what I mean? Like,
Oh, right.
I don't know if that's tampering or something like that.
Yeah.
I'm not the reporter that plays GM, guys. I'm just messing around here. That's not me. Somebody else. You give him the preseason hard knocks, or you give him the hard knocks during the offseason. You give him the preseason hard knocks. You give him the season hard knocks. You give him all that crap, and I just want to see the Cowboys. Like, I don't care. Put a cam out there. Put whatever you want. I
Now
wanna
all of a
watch
sudden you'd be
Cowboys.
excited to see the first Sunday night football game be Giants Dallas.
Giants,
And then
Dallas.
Thanksgiving Day the Cowboys playing. All of a sudden you'd be excited.
No, I am I don't know. I'd definitely be excited. But Chris, anything else before you head out? Again, appreciate you jumping on. I know you have a limited time. We appreciate you just taking the time to have a conversation with us. Anything else you wanna talk? Oh, who you got? Notre Dame or Ohio State?
Ohio State for sure. I'm
Oh,
pretty
God.
surprised Notre Dame made it this far, man. I kind of thought they were frauds, but I guess not.
Hey.
Yeah, I think Ohio State, man. But who knows?
I thought you liked Marcus Freeman because of the nice hair. He got the man.
No, I do like Marcus Freeman. I'm rooting for him for sure. I just didn't know they lost to Northern Illinois and they didn't play anybody.
I know.
So I was like, yeah.
And they've beaten Catholics versus Convicts 2.0, Notre Dame versus Georgia.
Yeah.
They beat them,
Yeah.
and they've had some good plays.
I can't stand Ryan Day. I hope he beats him, dude. I can't stand Ohio State.
Why don't you like Ryan Day?
You want to talk about just for men? There's Ryan Day.
Dude,
right
yeah,
there.
exactly. I'm surprised he hasn't gotten his NIL deal from them yet. I don't know. I just think he's so overrated. Like, dude, you could put a corpse to run Ohio State. They'll win 10 games. You know what I mean? Like, he can't beat Michigan 3 years in a row. He's gotten bounced out of playoffs, and now they have the highest payroll, and all of a sudden he makes a natty. Like, that's not coaching. He's buying off all these players. Like, it's not the same thing.
Oh my God, I hear you.
That's definitely gonna be an interesting.
That's fine. Let's go. And then plus, I don't know if you've seen the. I don't know if you watch Pat McAfee or not, but Pat McAfee did a hilarious thing when Notre Dame played Ohio State. I can't remember if it was last year, this year, whenever. Or no, maybe Ohio State was playing somebody. I can't remember. 2 years ago. So one of his guys dresses up like Lou Holtz and does an impersonation of him.
Mm-hmm.
And so at this game, like, you know how they do their live podcast sometimes at stadiums? At this game, he has the real Lou Holtz getting interviewed by Pat's guy dressed as Lou Holtz. And in the game, in the interview, he kind of called, you should watch it. It's hilarious.
Okay.
He calls basically Ohio State soft or something like that. And then after the game, by the way, Ohio State snuck out of that game because Notre Dame had 10 guys on the field instead of 11. And it was such a close game. They should have smoked them, but it was such a close game. He comes up to the reporter. He's like, I want to know where Lou Holtz is right now. And it's so hilarious. Dude, the guy's about to see Christ in the next hour, and you want to over here run your mouth about him? Like,
I do remember this now. I do remember
Yeah,
this. I do remember
and
this.
I
Out
think
of
Lou
all the
Holtz
people,
won like 3
Lou Hol-
natties.
yes.
Like, who is this guy?
Yes.
This is Chris, just a little, just real quick before you head out.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for having me back, Pat. First and foremost, listen, I don't know what the fuck happened. Okay. I'm there at the start of the game. I'm with a lot of my former players. You just got a lot of sweet boys.
Just
Crazy,
comedy, but
Hilarious.
that is Chris Rim. Thank you, Chris, so much for jumping on with us. You were the best. Have fun during the off season. Hope you come down to San Diego and we'll get a couple of California burritos and we'll hang out and everything. We appreciate you always.
Catch one of those second-rate sport games they always tell me about in downtown. Maybe a baseball game or something.
No, literally, I'm not a baseball guy, man.
Oh, it's so soft.
Neither
It's so
is he.
boring. It's so boring. That's the one sport I go purposely to drink until I'm gone. So that's the only way I get entertained.
Chris, thank you so much. Have a good one, and let's catch up. We appreciate you.
Yes, sir. All right, y'all.
My guy,
Thank
take it
you.
easy.
That is our guy, Chris Rim. We love him. That was entertaining, Dan.
Oh, that's the best. We always have a good time. That's what we're about on this program. We're all about the good vibes. We have a good time. We just shit talk. We bring up some skits. We have a blast, dude. What else? What else can I say? That's what we do here.
Yeah, that's definitely always fun having Chris Rim on. He is the best. He always has some good info for us, to say the least. But oops, Dan,
Whoa! I got excommunicated.
Never.
I got exiled.
There you go. Dan, are you excited about? Oh my God.
A hologram. That's hilarious.
What? Okay,
Who
somebody
knows the way that I don't know if you guys have been watching X. You might be able to get an AI robot of us for 120 grand.
Green shirt with Mike. Any idea when the 5080 card will be available for pre-built PCs? Okay.
What are you rambling about? What card? What are you talking about?
I don't know. That's what somebody commented. I don't know.
50, 80 card? I don't know. I don't do cards. I don't know.
Yeah, I think going.
By the way,
and
everybody
you are gone.
Everybody smash the like button.
Kicked him out.
Really?
All right.
For the asking about
Well, I don't know what
cards?
the hell he's doing. He asked Jorge something. He asked me. I don't know. It's AI bots. Okay. I thought so. Thank you, Elliot.
AI.
Dan, this is what. Let's see.
Everybody smash the like button. Comment. Be a compa. Tell a compa. Shout out to all you guys in here on a Wednesday.
Being excited about the draft. Here's what he had to say.
The scouts, they understand our scouting process, both pro and college. And so we've obviously been looking at pro players all year, assessing the free agent market from a pro standpoint. And our college scouts have been out. Reports are done. Fall reports are done. We've already had meetings. We've already got a preliminary board set. So, go back last year, I was still in Baltimore at this time. And so I definitely feel ahead and ready to hit the ground running. And we'll be getting coaches' assignments out next week and letting them start attack evaluations and keep going through it.
Can't wait.
And
Where's all
so
about now?
just a little bit of just a little bit of context. So from what we were told is that when they built the Bolt and they were in the they were putting the finishing touches after Jim and Joe got hired. Jim and Joe had their own ideas and they said, look, I think we should add X, Y, and Z. I think we should do this. I think we should. They had to add on a bunch of stuff. Jim and Joe hired a bunch of extra people that the Chargers hadn't had before, like position. They brought in new positions. They did a bunch of stuff to really increase their team, different scouts, a lot of different things because they believe that they know what they can do to make this team into a winner. This team has never won a Super Bowl. They've been to one Super Bowl, and they ran into the freaking
Steve Young Niners. Yeah, unbelievable.
Freddie, Jason, and Michael Myers and Chucky all into one when it came to those 49ers that were completely stacked. So they feel like they have the nucleus to do this, and they're building it the right way, like Chris said right now. And again, we appreciate Chris for jumping on, but it really and that's what today's press conference. There was also a huge moment between Jim and Joe where Jim told him, "Hey, here, let me play it for you because I think you'll get a kick out of this, Dan." Let me get that up. And then right now, in a couple minutes, we will be playing one final game. Dan's gonna say either they Bears have completed an interview with Mike McCarthy, big old Mike McCarthy. You're either gonna keep him or
cut his ass.
There you go. Let's listen to what Jim's had to say. Jim,
the thrill I had to that I was going to be around our players, our coaches, but the day was always going to start off with getting with Joe, and could not have a better general manager. Just his leadership style, the way he pulls out the best in everybody that he associates with, coaches, players, staff, the scouting personnel department, and he's going to be humble. He's not going to take a deep, long bow, but he deserves to. He should. And great training. I get that, but you're special, Joe. You're incredible at what you do, and we all have tremendous appreciation for you. And you are a huge part of why this is my favorite ball team. And like Justin Herbert, I would follow him to the gates of hell and back. I would follow you to the gates of hell and back. Incredible job.
Appreciate that, Coach.
There you go. Love it.
I knew you were going to love that ending.
I've seen the teamwork between the two. I hope it's not like in years past where the GM and head coach were at odds.
No, Dan.
You're not. Well, I know. I'm just saying in general, like, they could present it and hate each other in the background, but I hope that's not the case. But
no,
because again,
he chose them.
The thing about football organizations, like, you all have to be working towards a common goal together. Now, does that mean you're always going to be thrilled with each other and, poop out rainbows? No, it doesn't. But you got to be able to compromise, talk to each other, and move forward together. That way you're successful. Not having, one guy wanting to do his own thing, then the other guy yelling at the other. You can't have that. You have to have good communication and working together. That's what this organization needs. They'll have to be big spenders, I assume.
I don't know. The only big.
I think they're going to spread it out. I don't think you'll see
God.
big contracts. That's my opinion. I don't know where this guy's going now, but what was I going to say? I don't think they're going to give out big contracts, but I do think they're going to spend in the sense of they're going to bring in a lot of players. I think you have to. There's no way you don't. Like, you can't go in with basically the same team. Like, you have to put your stamp on it now.
I think
exactly. I love what Robert S. says here. Regardless of I can't read.
I think Trey Smith from the Chiefs is a guy that the Chargers would if the Chiefs aren't able to pay him and he becomes a free agent, I think he would be a player.
They'll probably work some devil magic for Al and they'll all be back. I don't know how they do it. But
where were you reading? Robert S. You want me to read
it? Robert S. Yeah, I got it right here.
Regardless of how this season went, the Chargers have a bright future. Herbert doesn't give a crap about what critics say about him. It's all about moving forward and improving daily.
Exactly. Robert S. hit the nail on the head. You have to move forward now. It is what it is. What's in the past is in the past. You got to move forward onto 2025, and you have to freaking correct these mistakes. You need offensive linemen. You need defensive linemen, linebackers, skill players. God, for God's sake, people who can catch the football when they're open. You know what I'm saying? Like, Jorge, I don't think it's like they would let them walk, but I mean, if they don't have the money, they don't have the money. I don't know how that would work actually.
They have 21 million in cap, but they have free agents that they need to sign. Trent McDuffie's due. Trey Smith is due. There's a lot of guys that are due on that team that are gonna want to get paid. So that's the thing. They can't keep them all. And I can't remember which insider said that one of them that one insider said that they felt like Trey Smith is going to be the guy that hits free agency. So if he does, I'm sure the Chargers would be willing to bring him in. I mean, the guy's an all pro. He's amazing. He's great. And again, you can't pay him all. So no, I get it, Jorge, what you're saying. Why would they let Trey Smith walk when they already have O-line issues? I mean, I'm sure the Chiefs feel like they could probably draft, plug and play.
Yeah, exactly. Part of it also is probably just a scheme. They do so much misdirection. They try and get the ball out quick in Mahomes' hands anyway. They're probably thinking the scheme, they can make adjustments to hide that deficiency. So that could be part of it also.
Yeah, no, I agree. All right, Dan. The random guy, is Trey Smith more of a product of Creed being the best center? No, that's not. No, because they have other not other needs. What am I trying to say? They I feel like the interior of the offensive line is what works. And yeah, Creed may be a part of it, but I think Trey is a great player. You could see him. I mean, guys don't get past him. He does a really good job, and sometimes he even covers up for Jawan Taylor at times. So that's why I don't like playing guessing games. That I just threw out a name just because
it's a potential.
Yeah, he has the potential to walk, and I'm sure the Chargers would definitely take a look at him. But real quick, last one, Dan, before we play the game. Another Harbaugh-ism thing.
He's a complete stud, stalwart, and he is. And research what that means. I mean, it's tough, it's loyal, it's strong. He does. He's the opposite of a.
Talking about Herbert.
Of a house plant. I mean, he is field corn, and just like field corn, doesn't need to be talked to in a certain way. It doesn't need the conditions to be perfect, sunlight, shade, water content, soil content. I mean, field corn, it'll burrow down for any energy that it can find, and it will rise up and start producing. And that's Justin Herbert's.
Absolute dog. Absolute dog.
All right, Dan. It is time to play the game. It is.
Are you ready?
Herbert would join the.
No, I said
Jorge. We'd love to line something up like that. Maybe one day we'll be able to get that.
Trying to, man.
That interview. All right, Dan. Let's play. Keep or
cut his ass.
Let's start it off. Eli Apple.
Oh, he's gone. Cut his ass.
Bradley Bozeman.
Cut his ass. I need a new center.
DJ Chark.
Cut his ass. Bozeman weed after we just lost the goddamn thing.
J.K. Dobbins.
Oh no, I'd keep. I want to keep him.
Troy Dye.
I think I would keep. He kind of showed up towards the end when he had to step in for Perryman. I'd keep Troy Dye.
Hayden Hurst.
Cut his ass.
Simi Fehoko.
Cut his ass.
Puna Ford.
Keep. I want to keep.
Morgan Fox.
Cut his ass.
Christian Fulton.
Cut his ass.
Taylor Heineke.
Oh, no. Keep him. Yeah, he's a good backup. I like that. I just don't want to spend like $8 million on a backup. You know what I mean? But he's solid. I like Taylor Heineke. I hope they keep him.
Oh, wow. Jorge wants Dobbins gone.
Oh, really? Oh, I wouldn't cut Dobbins.
Brendan Hymas.
Cut his ass. He hasn't done anything. He hasn't shown up.
Tony Jefferson.
No, keep. I want to keep him.
Khalil
Fox
Mack.
to me, Jorge, obviously. God damn, I want to keep K-Mac. For me, Jorge, Fox, I felt like did better last year and the years before. This year, he didn't do much for me. I didn't really see a lot from him, so that's the only reason I said cut his ass too.
Marcus May.
Probably cut his ass. What was he?
Elijah
safety?
Molden.
I didn't see much. Elijah, he made some good plays. You know, I might keep him. He made some good plays.
Sam Mustafer.
Mind me who he is?
62.
Oh, cut his ass. He did not look good when he was in there.
Nick Neiman.
Special teamer. How good was he on special teams?
He was fine. He was good.
So I don't know. That one.
Joshua Palmer.
Cut his ass.
Denzel Perryman.
He's always hurt, but I think they're going to cut him. I'll give him his respect because, like, when he was in, he was effective. He just isn't a cover guy, and you know, I think they want to have versatile linebackers in there, but they're going to cut his ass.
Jalen Reagor.
Cut his ass.
Chris Rumpf.
Cut his ass.
Asante Samuel Jr.
I do think he has skills covering, but I think it's like we've talked about. He jumps routes sometimes, and I don't know how good of a tackler he is, and I don't know how much they want corners who can't tackle. So is he still on his rookie deal, or would they have to do a 5th year? Or
no, he 5th year option is if you're a 1st round draft pick.
So his contract's up.
Rounder. Yeah,
his contract's up.
Yes.
I don't know. I think they might bring him back. I think that because I mean, supposedly he was hurt all year, so they might bring him back.
I think he's
maybe.
gone.
You think he's gone?
Yeah, he doesn't fit the mold that they want at corner. Look at Tarheeb. Well, Tarheeb's a little bit smaller, but
look at Cam. Cam's
Hart,
like a bridge. Yeah.
J.K. Scott.
I don't care. Cut his ass. Don't cut him. I don't care. They should have tried to go get a Riza, but I mean, whatever. Who?
Easton Stick.
No, get his ass out of here. Cut his ass.
Tierre Tart.
Oh no, keep him. Keep him. He played pretty well. I just can't have any. He needs to be for the program. That's what I want for the program.
Now let's go with the guys that are under contract that maybe. Let's see. Let me see. Well, no, it's fine. I mean, free age. I mean, whatever. I mean, there's not really anybody that you'd want to cut. That's Joey Bosa.
See, that to me, what does he do next year? He's still under contract, right?
Yep, $25 million.
Yeah, not for 25, dude. Not for 25. If there's any way they can cut him, restructure, or whatever, I say keep him for depth. You know, you don't need him every down, but he's not 25 million worth. I wouldn't even keep him for 8 million. So I think
they saved 25. Is he frozen or am I frozen?
No, I think we both were. I don't know.
Oh, okay.
But not for 25 million. I would want to keep him for depth, like I said, but not for 25 million. So I think they would cut him, restructure, or something.
Let's see. Trey Pipkins.
Oh, I'd cut him. Cut.
Alohi Gilman.
Oh, I'd cut him too. He made a couple plays at times, but I don't know, dude. I still think that one, we can upgrade. Who else you got?
That is basically
I think honestly, if I think QJ is going to be on the chopping board pretty soon, and I think who's the other one? Zion Johnson might be on the cutting board soon if they don't start developing because they're kind of it's kind of hard to watch. You know what I mean? Sometimes, Jorge, I would take. I think Molden a little more. I think Molden tackles better if I remember right. There was a few times with Gilman. I feel like he gets lost in coverage, doesn't tackle well, takes bad angles, and yeah, I've never been a big Gilman guy. But I mean, that's just my opinion. I'm just a stooge. What do I do?
Anthony, are you talking about Garrett Wilson or what Garrett are you talking about? You see Quinn
Miles
Ewers?
Garrett.
I don't know. Well, I don't know. That's why I was asking. Did you see
imagine?
that Quinn Ewers is going into the draft?
Oh, really?
I was surprised.
Good luck to him. I guess it's kind of smart in a way because supposedly all the quarterbacks are bad, so maybe that means he gets drafted higher than he would if all of them were good. I don't know. Oh, he said Miles Garrett. Yeah, Miles Garrett. That would be interesting. But he's under contract. I think they'd have to trade for him, no?
Yeah, and he's older. So yeah, no, I mean, I'd be surprised if they traded for Miles Garrett, to be honest. The only thing is, I wonder, because Bud Dupree's a free agent also. They're gonna have to do something with the pass rush because at times that it wasn't getting home. Like Khalil was still really good, but Robert S. You know what the crazy part is, and I'm an advocate that he said, which position would you guys want Joe Hortiz to go to after the most in the first round? The only problem I have, like, I kind of hate this system. Like, I like the NBA system a little bit more, where it's the draft first and then free agency. I think that's the best. Like, going, like, the draft should be to fill out your team, or no, to get the building blocks of your team, and then free agency should come after it so you can fill out the rest of your team. Because I'm sure the Chargers would have done things differently in free agency if they would have seen the kind of draft that they had. So I've always been in the thought process that I think the draft should be in March and free agency should be in April or whatever. Late March is the draft, early April is free agency, whatever you want. But I definitely feel like that's what they should do. They're not going to do it. They're not going to listen. But I definitely think that that's the way they should do it. But as of right now, I don't know. I think
whoever's best available, dude. You know,
as of right now, I think I'd have to go guard. I feel like that's the way they would go just because they don't have one. The only problem is that if Loveland or Warren or Genty are right there, I just feel like the Chargers may not be able to pass up on something like that. Just because all three players are so talented. And Warren does a lot, man. I'm telling you, I obviously Justin Herbert's big enough to do a quarterback sneak, but like if you get Warren coming in motion, and he goes up and he hikes it, it's exactly the way they do it with that Baltimore did it on the Chargers like twice. Jorge, I do not think they would keep I'd be surprised if they kept Bozeman. They really like him, and you can tell the team really likes him. But I think that Jim and Joe know that they're gonna have to go a different route.
Maybe as a depth piece, but not as a starter, dude. Not as a starter.
Yeah, would they go Genty or Loveland? I'll say they go Genty.
Yeah,
I think they might go Genty. Definitely.
I don't know. I think I would have gone.
You think they'd go Loveland?
Well, I was gonna say Warren. Yeah, I think you would need a tight
end.
Well,
no, they said assuming Warren's gone.
I think you would need a tight end more, honestly. Because I mean, if you have a good enough offensive line, you can have like a decent later round running back, and the offensive line will make them look great. You know what I mean? Like, but you know,
this is a good draft for tight ends too. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if the Chargers came out with 2 tight ends in this draft.
Yeah.
Because do a little bit of what the Packers did a couple of years ago.
Double dip or something like that.
Double dip at tight end. I think that would be be great. Yeah, the Cowboys probably will go after Genty, to be honest. They
their new Zeke.
They want a new running back in there. So I'd be surprised if Genty fell to the Chargers, just because, especially if the Lions win the Super Bowl or go to the Super Bowl. it'll be everybody's gonna try and copy what they're doing, and they'll go get a running back in the first round just to be like, oh, okay, well, look, other teams will try and get a running back in the draft, which I think is going to be interesting. But Scatterboo will probably go in the third round, to be honest, Jorge. I think to be.
I'd like to draft him, Loki.
He would be interesting.
He seemed like a
all right. We've been on here for an hour 15. We had a special guest. I told you guys we would have a special guest. Chris Rim obviously joined us. For anybody who came in late, please pound the like button. Please pound the like button. We did greatly appreciate it. Guys, we will be off for a little bit just because obviously we're getting ready for Radio Row and all that. We'll still be jumping on to do the 4 Compas, but What's Up Bolts we won't be using for a little bit. At Radio Row, we do have some potential Chargers people lined up to jump on with us. So, wow, I'd rather see
Yeah, right. I'd rather see every other team that hasn't won a Super Bowl yet win it before the Chiefs. I can't stand them. So yeah, we will be gone from What's Up Bolts for a little bit unless anything happens. But today, Jim Harbaugh said that that he doesn't expect any roster or any moves on the coaching staff. So I definitely Dan, I know you want to pitch Greg Roman for head coaching jobs, but it's not going to happen. Exactly.
But yeah, so we'll be off for a little bit. We will be back probably around late February after the Super Bowl and after we kind of take a week or two off after the Super Bowl. But we'll be back. We'll shoot a show. We'll talk about some of the free agents that we think they can go get them. But there it is, Dan.
Big facts. Big facts. Jorge says, regardless of how the year ended, Jim fucking Harbaugh is the head coach of Los Angeles Chargers. We got a chance, baby. We'll see how it happens.
Oh, Dan, real quick, I do have to show you this. This is what happened on First Take on Monday.
That's all the Chargers have. Basically like that's the problem. That's all they have.
It's like saying which is heavier. Yeah, I thought you liked Quinn Johnson. You were just talking about Quinn Johnson. I thought you liked him.
I've never done that.
Okay, now you don't like Quinn Johnson. He was telling me now you don't like Quinn Johnson.
My God, catching strays out there. But unbelievable. Total clown show over there. Especially the way Stephen A cackles. My God.
I obviously that was something else, to be honest. This like I said, this will be this is the play. Oh, this is the play that pissed Dan off.
Which one?
This is the play that pissed Dan
keep
off.
us on here forever, dude.
No, my bad. I'm sorry. We'll get out of here.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Just zero awareness. If you notice, they didn't pick up the stun inside. That looked like another misblocking assignment.
But that was the Will Disley drop.
Yeah, and then on top of that, this fool drops the pass. Like, what are we even doing?
Look at where Bozeman is.
It's just simple things, dude, and they can't do it. Like, that's why I think. But look at keep going.
Well, because everybody's engaged with somebody except for Sawyer or except for Bozeman.
I don't even like Zion there, dude. I don't even like Zion there. He gives up he turns around and he gives a free lane. It's just terrible all around, dude. I think they're going to revamp.
Wide open in the end zone.
I think they're going to revamp that. I don't know.
Damn, he was.
Either way, he wouldn't have been able to get it to him, dude. He's under pressure.
Oh, I know. But that's crazy. They had one guy blocking two guys.
All I know is that he better not be throwing his hands up or any of that shit. How many times could have Herbert thrown his hands up at this fool dropping a pass out here?
Yeah. This is what Big Cat did say. So you have or did you hear it?
I assume what it was. I think I might have seen the clip on Twitter or something.
I will buy all the Justin Herbert stock. right now is a great time.
I will buy all of it. If you think that he is just like a terrible quarterback, that's fine. I still think he's pretty good. I would like to see him with maybe some more weapons other than just Lab McConkey. This also is like a perspective game where the Chargers were not supposed to probably be in the playoffs this year, given the roster and like the overturn and the rebuild and everything. So it's like, it's hard in the moment to say, it feels like you're defending Justin Herbert. When I'm not trying to defend him. I'm more like they overachieved this year. Like they overachieved. They probably weren't going to be a playoff team if you looked at it going into the season, and they overachieved to get to this point. And they overachieved so much that everyone had them as a favorite. And I thought they were going to win this game.
Here's how Justin Herbert works for me. When I hear somebody like sucking his, I'm like, let's pump the brakes. He hasn't really done anything.
Right.
When I hear somebody like sharpening their knife and being like, this guy's a bum, I'm like, actually, he's really good.
I will buy all the. Oh God. Yeah, 100%. I'll defend him. I don't care. I think he's going to be good. I think he's going to come back and be better. I just hope they can win a Super Bowl in his tenure, dude. Because I mean, I think the fans deserve it. We've been through so much shit together, and it's just too long, dude. You need to finally put something on the field. You need to finally put something in the cabinet. So.
Yeah, I agree. Jorge, we love you too. We appreciate you. So just going back to it, we will be going out to Radio Row. We'll be out there for the whole week. This will be our last episode for a while. Unless something big happens with the Chargers, we'll jump back in here and we'll talk about it. If Rashawn Slater gets his contract extension or if anything happens, we'll jump on. We'll talk about it. But as of right now, we will be gone for a little bit. So, but still hit the notification button just in case so that you guys know exactly when we are back on. We did an hour and 21. I apologize to Dan, but that was a great show, a great wrap up on the season. Definitely some highlights. And obviously we had our boy Chris Rim on. So definitely appreciate him. But you guys are the best. Thank you guys so much. Again, we will be back probably in about a month and a half. So make sure you guys tune in. Please like this. Please, when you guys see the four Compas, please jump on. We love talking to you guys. We love having you guys all on there. You guys are the best. We appreciate it. So thank you guys so much. Dan, why don't you get us out of here?
Here we go. Be a Compa, like, comment. Oh, fuck. I can't believe I stuttered right there. Be a Compa, tell a Compa, like, comment, subscribe. Appreciate you all. It's been a great year. I still think the sky's the limit for this organization, this team now with this new vision. So stay in there. We'll see what happens. We'll be back with you sooner rather than later. Shout out to all you. It's been a great season. Couldn't have happened without all you guys.